Today we're going to take an initial look at the Green New Deal, as submitted by U.S. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, which everybody's been poking fun at for this last year for all of her crazy ideas. Kind of like this fantasy list that we now call the Green New Deal. It's a broadband picture of utopia that has been painted all the way back to Plato. Everybody's tried to paint this picture of, oh, we're going to have this society that's going to have endless energy, jobs for everybody, you're going to have health care that's free, you're going to have food that's going to be nutrient rich, and everybody's going to be healthy. Literally, it is a fantasy that is being pushed forward on a global scale. Didn't just start though. I mean, like I said, it goes all the way back to Plato. And here in America, the Green New Deal, green meaning they think it's going to be energy efficient and energy renewable. Well, the New Deal piece of it actually goes back to Roosevelt's time with his New Deal. That's where we got the Social Security started, so people could have a guaranteed retirement. But what they paid for that was a very highly increased governmental system that executed a lot more controls that weren't outlined or even given under the Constitution to the federal government. They just assumed them, and they've had them ever since. So we have to figure out whether AOC is just a patsy in this thing, or they've just realized that she's an easy person to manipulate and likes to come forward with all these fancy ideas with no idea or practical way to even make them happen. So she's being used and has been used for years now, as far as I can see. So this far-reaching plan, called the Green New Deal, literally is a plagiarism of the old Agenda 21 goals, and now it's become Agenda 2030, which says that we're going to have green energy and it'll all be done by the year 2030. Literally, that's only about 9 years away. And during the presidential debates, you know, Biden was asked numerous times, are you going to end fracking? Are you going to go away from fossil-based fuels? And he refused to answer it, then he refused to answer it. Finally, when pinned down, he says, well, yeah, we're going to slowly transition. Slowly transition is 9 years, according to this plan, 2030. And if you really think that's going to happen, how's that going to work? Who's going to pay for that transition? And how many jobs are going to be lost? Truth of the matter is this, that the nearest estimate, rounded up to the nearest trillion, is that it will cost $100 trillion to transition to what this Green New Deal is trying to propose, or mere Agenda 2030. And indeed, the jobs lost, the cost of everything else is nowhere near that. So it's going to cost a whole lot more. And who do you think is going to pay for that? We are, the taxpayers. And literally everybody in the world will pay for it, because this isn't just an agenda to get everything green and try to save the planet. It's literally a power grab at the highest levels. The other day, the New World Order, according to George Soros, is going to be run by China. China's who they've designated to run this New World Order. Same people who've been spying on our country and influencing our political and social agendas now for years. They are a great enemy, and even the National Intelligence Director the other day said they are our biggest enemies and we need to start paying attention. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at on that. We probably need to look that all over. They're going to talk about sustainable energy for all. How's that going to work on what? They're trying to eliminate greenhouse gases. Well, some of these greenhouse gases are exactly what we need to keep life going. We are life. We are part of that greenhouse gas cycle that the CO2 is used by plants, make oxygen, oxygen is breathed by us, it's all part of the energy system. You just can't eliminate it like that and say, oh, well now we're going to go green. What does that look like and how does that work? The other thing is that climate change is a threat that they think, and everybody's saying that the climate has changed. I mean, it's kind of, you can't really argue that. Climate over the last decades has changed one way or another. But you know, if you go back through history, and I mean way back through history, climate change has been pretty drastic. We've had ice ages, we've had droughts, we've had all kinds of things. And can we even prove, and has any scientist really come forward and proved that climate change is a result of mankind and what he's doing? We don't know. When they can prove that, and then they might have some kind of a basis to prove how to fix it. But right now, it's all just a guess, and we don't want to go forward into the future on a guess. Like I said earlier, magic of high-paying jobs. High-paying jobs doing what? Literally the agriculture they're trying to get so that agriculture will go away and everything will be plant-based, and plant-based on this soil which has been degraded and abused through the use of chemicals for years, and yet that's going to be what we're going to have all of our food produced on. They're literally trying to eliminate beef. You know, it's the cows farting that is causing all of our problems, or the water's been contaminated because there's animals out there. What are you going to do, eliminate animals? That's just crazy. What's really crazy is that some farmers have bought into it, to include one of my friends, Will Harris of White Oak Pastures in Georgia, who stood and talked with the Green New Deal people in DC saying this is a great idea. Will, this idea is going to totally kill your dream of being a farmer, reestablishing a community and doing holistic management on your land with 1,000 beating hearts, which you made a film about. You need to reassess where you stand on this. Lastly, centralized planning. Okay, going to have more agricultural land to grow all these plant-based products. So what do you do with the houses that are expanding? Well, you do what they did in Europe and what they have proposed for years, and that is everybody goes into small apartments, into a concentrated area, which is centrally planned and organized. Smart meters, monitoring through 5G of your location and where you're at, and travel. Everything's going to be monitored and controlled by the central government. That's not living. That's not what I signed up for when I came onto this earth, although it wasn't my decision. But once here, we have guaranteed freedoms that even God guaranteed, certain inalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, not turning it over to a government that dictates every aspect of your life. So, the Green New Deal is something that we're going to have to look at through every area. There's 17 different areas that they're trying to address, 17, which will impact every aspect of your life. No matter how well-intentioned, it's a rehash of this old plan, which we called Agenda 21 and now Agenda 2030. It's impractical. They don't have any specific plans. There's just a series of ideas at this point, but it will impact, if they try to move forward on it, every aspect of your life and all of your freedoms. So you need to wake up, pay attention, and see what it is that this Green New Deal is really all about, because what? It's really a UN initiative called Agenda 2030.